So here's the thing with South by Southwest. Everybody there is there to put themselves on. Not just saying that because that's the name of my podcast, but seriously, everyone there is promoting themselves, their music, their brand, their business, their app, whatever. Because everybody's promoting themselves, it's really important that you find ways to stand out. Here are a couple key tips to help you rock South by Southwest like a pro.
Turn it up a little louder.
Put yourself on.
What does that mean? The Hustler's How-To Guide to Self-Made Success.
Hey, turn this up, fam. Turn up right now. You know what it is. Free smoke, hey, free smoke.
TheBobbyPin.com, that's cool. Thank you.
Cool. Got a condo on my wrist, girl, I'm cashing out. All my money live rich.
I don't dance now, I make money move. This is where it's at.
Woo! South by Southwest is over and it wore me out. Welcome to your Hustler's How-To Guide to Self-Made Success. I'm your host, Bobby Pin, and this is another episode of the Put Yourself On podcast. Yeah, you heard me correctly. I was down in Austin, Texas last week for South by Southwest Music. This was my second year going. The first time I went was in 2015, and I must say that it was two totally drastically different experiences, but both equally fun. So what I mean by that, in 2015, I was green and a rookie and indie AF. You know what I mean? Like just out there figuring it out. I had brought all this equipment and I had multiple cameras and all that jazz. So I knew that I wanted to work, but I had no idea what I was in store for in regards to just the magnitude of all the festivities that take place at the exact same time with all the artists that you want to see. You know what I mean? Like it's a really intense event. So I went down there, like I said, in 2015, and I really didn't come back with much content, but I definitely came back with a wealth of wisdom, which leads me to 2018, where I went and I knew exactly how to attack this thing, and I went in ready to work. So here's a great opportunity for me to thank my 2018 South by Southwest sponsors, DC Top 20 Live and the Credit University. I am so very grateful for these two companies to invest in my vision, to invest in my business, and to help make this trip a lot more comfortable, manageable, and successful. DC Top 20 is a live, around-the-clock interactive streaming platform that allows creative artists and live performers to monetize their brands through a global audience in real time. So that means if you head over to live.dctop20.com/interviews, you can stream all of my South by Southwest content all day long. And no matter where you come in, there's going to be some content playing. You don't even have to press any buttons, honey. It'll do it for you. So shout out to DJ Anonymous for investing in me. Man, we have been at this for a long time. You were there for my launch event in 2012. So I'm just very grateful to still have you in my corner. And to my new friend, Bobo from the Credit University, I am very grateful to you guys, not only for investing in this trip, but also getting my credit right. Hello, if we're talking about putting ourselves on, our credit matters. So definitely make sure you check out the Credit University, where they can repair your credit by removing negative marks, opening trade lines. They can help you secure funding for your small business and so much more. They not only repair your credit, but they also teach you how to repair your own credit, why credit matters, how to secure your own funding, and how to grow your business. So make sure you check out the Credit University on Instagram at the_credit_university, or visit thecredituniversity.com, or you can even call 636-706-1207 and get your credit right now. It's tax season. Use that refund check and invest in yourself and go ahead and put yourself on. Now, back to your regularly scheduled programming. Number 1, spend someone else's money. Now, I don't mean go out there and be fraudulent or do anything devious. I mean, Figure out what value you bring to the table that someone else could benefit from that might help you pay for your trip. You can sell ads, you can gain sponsorship, or you can even provide a service. See, leading up to South by Southwest, there's nothing but ads floating around social media of videographers who are available for booking, or media personalities who are available to host events, or even celebrities that are reminding people, hey, I'm here and I'll be around and I'm available during these times. If you're a publication like I am with the bobbypin.com, I can even sell ads on my website. Or if you're an influencer or have a lot of followers, you can sell ads on your social media platform. So definitely think outside of the box of ways that you can make money from your trip so that you're not just spending it. Also, you can sell sponsorship. In order to do that, you have to understand the value of your website, your brand, your social media following. Please don't shortchange yourself. I know it's easy to think, well, I just got started, or I only have this number of followers, but trust me, it's still an audience that your potential client hasn't reached yet, and there is value there. Not to mention, there's only one you, and don't ever underestimate that either. There's only one person who can think like you, who is creative in the way that you're creative, who can present information the way that you do. There's only one you. So when you're considering your value, please don't underestimate yourself. I feel like people do that way too much. Make it easy for people. Business owners are extremely busy, especially those with small businesses, because more than likely they're taking on more tasks than than they even want to begin with. So make it easy for them and come up with very clear packages of what you have to offer, how much it's worth, and how it will benefit your client. Please do not forget that step. It's one thing to brag about all the achievements you've made and what you can do, but the question is, how does it benefit the person that you're trying to sell your sponsorship to? So you can come up with either one rate, a flat rate to buy into whatever it is that you're trying to sponsor, or you can come up with a tiered system. In the past, I've used both. Sometimes it's easier. You can just offer this one thing, right? For instance, in my case, if I know I'm doing videos out there, I can potentially just sell on camera mention or logo, right? Or you can create tiers, right? You can create something really cheap that is easy for you to execute, but still adds value to your client. You can come up with some kind of middle ground that offers just a little bit more, but it's still not too time consuming, or it won't require too much capital up front. And then, of course, you can be rather elaborate and try to sell someone the whole shebang. But the point is, you want to make it easy for the people who you will be pitching to. So go ahead and create clear sponsorship packages. From there, once you seal the deal, right? Because that's not the easy part. It doesn't mean anything until you seal the deal. You definitely want to be sure to over deliver. So I tend to try to write my packages in such a way that I almost under promise what I can provide, so that I can blow my client away once it's all said and done. Again, if my client in the past, when I was working with Black Card Revoked, which was episode number 1, the requirement sometimes would be 3 celebrity interviews playing the game. Every single time I would turn in 5 to 10, depending on where the event was and how much access I had. But every single time I was sure to provide them far more than they ever needed, which definitely kept them in mind and created the relationship that, hey, I could have Miss Letitia Williams as a guest on my brand new podcast, right? So you definitely want to take care of your sponsors, especially as a smaller platform. These people are already taking a risk on you, so you definitely want to make them comfortable with you, which leads me to my next tip. You want to be confident when you speak about your brand, when you speak about your product, when you speak about your website. You need to believe in it so much that you then infect the person you're talking to, and they then believe, even if it's sight unseen. But if you speak about it in such a way that you respect it, that you show very clear passion and dedication to it, that you show knowledge, wisdom, and expertise, People are more likely to believe in you and want to invest in you and wouldn't mind handing over money or product, which is another tip. You need to know whether you have to have money because you have to, for instance, pay a hotel, or you know that you're going to have to ride Ubers around or pedicabs, or you know you're going to have to eat while you're out there. Those are definitely instances where you are going to want cash. However, you should definitely consider opportunities for product as well, which could save you money. If you know you're going to want your hair done, maybe you get a hair sponsor to just provide you the hair, and that's $300 that you now don't have to spend. Or if you know you're going to want to drink out there, it's party time, no judgment zone, you may want to holler at a liquor sponsor, especially if that's like a big part of your brand. If you're like a party person or a fun person, reach out to a liquor brand and see if they can provide you alcohol, and that's money that you can save. Or reach out to a car company, such as General Motors, which I've worked with in the past at BET Awards, and they may loan you a car, and that way you do not have to pay for Ubers anymore, or you definitely don't have to rent a car. So there are definitely ways for you to make money with sponsorships, and that would be by asking that directly or by getting product, which in turn will save you money. And either way, it's a win-win, and it's a good look, and it's an opportunity to establish and maintain meaningful professional relationships. You also want to be sure to connect with your sponsors. And I don't just mean reaching out or just finding them, but start your search for sponsorship as far in advance as possible so that you can have time to build a rapport with your sponsor. You want them to be confident in you, and you also want to make sure that you're working with somebody who's going to keep their word and pay you what they owe you, pay you on time, that are not going to change up after you've made an agreement and ask for more than they've paid for, right? So you want to fill them out as much as you want to create opportunities to allow them to get to know you and feel confident in you. So please don't underestimate going to grab a cup of coffee over your first discussion, or having dinner or even cocktails, and just getting a feel for each other. Definitely enjoyed working with Bobo of the Credit University based right here in St. Louis on my trip to South by Southwest. He was a pleasure to work with. Not only was he able to deliver and provide the marketing tools such as my pop-up banner and t-shirts for me to take out to South by Southwest and just increase my brand awareness, but he also was able to plug me into the city for some other personal needs that I had, which goes back to that over-deliver thing, and I do not take it for granted, and I absolutely intend to continue to work with him, and I am happy that I was able to provide this service at this point. And last but not least, you want to update your sponsor. Depending on their personality type, that's something you would know from getting to know them, from connecting with them. They may be the type of person that wants you to call once you have ordered whatever you were supposed to order, or once that article has gone up, or once you've changed that banner on your webpage, or once you booked your flight, or once you land, right? Like, they may want you to check in every step of the way. If that's okay, if that's what they want, it's perfectly okay. Just, again, put them at ease. You want them to feel confident that they have invested in someone that they can trust and someone that they will deliver. On the flip side, there may be sponsors who won't ask for anything. They're just going to anticipate that you will be professional enough to follow up. So you want to make sure that you do not disappoint. While you are providing whatever that service is that you're supposed to provide, make sure that you're taking pictures, and even if it's possible, create videos. If you are supposed to be just posting something, take screen grabs, show them the analytics. Provide your sponsor with all the information that they need in order to know what their ROI is, which stands for return on investment. This person invested in you with the expectation that they would get traffic, clientele, brand awareness, what have you. You need to find ways to measure that and definitely document it and present it to your client, I repeat, so that they can defend their reason for investing in you. And also, if it's successful enough, maybe you can ask for more money next time, or hopefully they will at least stay around and want to do business with you moving forward. My next tip would be to create an agenda. South by Southwest can be very overwhelming. There are tons of events that happen all day long at the exact same time, and they're all pretty much of equal importance, definitely depending on your interest. Every style of music is at this international event. So I repeat, it can definitely be very overwhelming. So you want to, as best you can, create an agenda and just have a sense of what to expect there. And you can easily do that by logging on to Eventbrite or Splash That or searching South by Southwest hashtag on social media like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and see what comes up. You can look at Facebook events. You can potentially look at a PR wire depending on how advanced you are or what your interests are. If you are a member of the media, you should definitely have at least the slightest idea of what a wire is. So that is definitely a great opportunity. And then don't underestimate your network. There's somebody you know probably who is going down there or has a friend who's curating an event, or that label rep who you see at least every month pitching a new song. They probably have artists who will be out there. So you want to leverage your network. Just consider who's plugged in, who could potentially help you, and reach out to people. Follow brands that you like, right? For instance, Budweiser has an event out there. Beats by Dre was affiliated with the Fader Fort. Just follow the brands that you already like too. And especially if they have a music slant, and see what events they may be co-presenting or curating themselves. And then definitely you want to be prepared to finesse. So, as much you can have to your advantage, the better. Wristbands are king at South by Southwest. So sometimes it just benefits you to have on a bunch of bands. Color may overlap. Person not paying attention, you may be able to sneak in. Definitely, if you have the time in advance to plan and prepare, you can earn a platinum badge, which is almost all access to all the official South by Southwest events by volunteering. Now, that's something that you have to sign up for at the top of the year. So you would need to know for sure that you would want to go. But that was definitely helpful to me when I went in 2015. And that granted me access to events that I wouldn't have otherwise had, and allowed me to talk my way through some things because I just looked a little more important, even if what I was saying might have been just a little bit misleading. Also, if you are a member of the media and are listening to this podcast, then you know that advantage as well. Play that up wherever you can. I'm definitely not promising that is going to work, but it's always worth a shot to flash your value again to whoever is at the door, or the publicist, or the event manager, or whoever you need to talk to in order to talk your way in. So if you can tell the event manager, hey, I should be here because I work for Radio 1 as an online editor, and I would love to be able to take some photos that I can publish not only on my city's websites, but all the way around the country due to our content network, right? So definitely be mindful of that as well. Moving on to the next step. Less is more. And I know that's really hard when we take trips, specifically out of town. It can feel uncomfortable to be in a foreign place by yourself completely. So you know yourself better than anyone else. You know your level of street smart and common sense. So by all means, take this piece of advice with a grain of salt. But I would encourage anyone who can and who really truly wants access and is going down their own business. I will even add that part. You might want to go by yourself. I repeat, depending on what you're doing. In my instance, I definitely needed assistance, but I due to sponsorship, was able to hire people to help me, which is a huge difference from just asking for a favor. When you're paying someone to help you, they are usually a lot more attentive and into it because there's something for them to get in return. By asking a stranger on the street to hit the record button for you, they might do that and just keep walking because they don't owe you anything. So again, depending on what it is you're working on, take that piece of advice with a grain of salt, but just also consider if you were to meet someone cool like YF and Lucci, and you wanted to interview him and he wasn't available at that particular event, but you could hop on the tour bus and interview, it would be really hard to do that with 5 and 6 other people. It really would. So you should definitely consider less is more when and where you can. Now, I will go and acknowledge those groups who were out there mobbing 6th Street with matching t-shirts with a release date or someone's face, album art on it or whatever. Those groups of people definitely caught people's eye. But they were assembled for a specific agenda, as opposed to, again, you trying to finesse. When you are trying to move about freely, trying to, be in the mix, you trying to be on the scene, you want to be in the VIP, you definitely want to not have a whole bunch of people, because usually they can't accommodate you unless you're really important, or else it would not have been, I went off on a tangent. Promote yourself. That is the whole point of South by Southwest. There are people out there with t-shirts. There are people out there with hand flyers. People are passing out CDs and thumb drives. The brands have their presence all over pretty much everything, every activation that's a part of a greater festival or performance is sponsored and sold just for brand awareness or recognition, or even people giving away Bluetooth speakers and giving away really worthwhile items just so that the right people get it, the right people see it, the right people hear it, and that one person that you're waiting to change your life is probably there. So promote yourself shamelessly. There were performances just right in the middle of the street. People had pop-up banners and their own amps and microphones, and just right there in the middle of 6th Street. Forget your stage. I don't need to be in your stage. I'm gonna do it right here in the middle of the street. So, or I even saw dance troops out there recording music videos. So whatever you do, be prepared to promote yourself effectively and efficiently. There were stickers all over the music showcase that I was at. Just promote yourself. And last but not least, please be social. Make it a point to talk to someone who does not look or behave like anyone you're used to. Find that odd person and just give them a shot, because you never know. That could be the person that could change your life. That could be that person behind the scenes who really doesn't care for the spotlight, but has all the juice and all the sauce to put you where it is that you want to be. So make sure that you talk to everybody. Let go of any limiting self-doubt that you have. Let go of any preconceived notions you have of other people. Just talk to everybody, be friendly, exchange numbers and social media platforms, and give them a shot. So I hope these tips were useful. If they were not good enough coming from me, I'm going to go ahead and put together some of my favorite interview clips from the weekend, including some messages from your motivational speaker. Girl, tell them who you are.
Hustle guy from Oakland, California.
Okay. Right area?
You feel me? East Oakland, matter of fact. We got to keep it real out there. I got a real serious illness that took almost 10 years to diagnose, fibromyalgia, which has only been discovered 25 years ago. So it took me almost 10 years to get diagnosed, which has just happened 6 months ago. So I almost actually died in the process. And what happened was I was able to test all of the things that I learned in college. I have a degree in kinesiology, pre-physical therapy. All of the things that I learned about God and, and spirituality, I was put into to a place where I was able to actually test those things to see if they were real. And the doctors weren't keeping me alive. I was keeping myself alive, you know, through my spiritual connection with God and through the knowledge that I obtained while I was in college. But because God allowed me to see that those things were connected, you feel me? So that is what ultimately allowed me to know that I was powerful enough to create my new situation, my new life that wasn't in this sickness and all that. So once it worked for me, I was like, okay, now I definitely got to teach other people that it's all about what you believe and how much you're willing to work to manifest what you believe.
Now, these two guys, Jeff and Eric Rosenthal, are two brothers from Harrison, New York. They have very interesting backgrounds. Eric was Kanye West's videographer at the 2005 Grammy Awards, and Jeff worked for HBO and AOL comedy website thisjustin.com. The two of them hopped on YouTube around 2007 and reached their big smash success in 2017 when they released their debut album that actually topped charts. They also have their own podcast where they've interviewed tons of guests, including Cardi B, Lil Uzi Vert, Wiz Khalifa, Angie Martinez, DJ Drama. These are guys that are YouTubers, they're true hip-hop heads, and they found a way to carve their own niche. So let's hear what they have to say.
So I run a podcast called the Put Yourself On Podcast, where I talk to people who've turned their passion into a profession. You guys epitomize that. So to you, what does it mean to put yourself on?
Today, there's so many people who can be middlemen and get in the way of progress. We don't let that happen. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't let it happen. I think when you're talking about uploading your stuff onto SoundCloud, when you're talking about like promoting it on Instagram, when you're talking about doing like real life activations, don't let anyone get in your way and stop you from doing what you want to do. Like, there's no reason that we shouldn't do anything that we want to dream of. We used to joke. We used to finish interviews and they would be like, well, what do you have coming up next? And we'd be like, oh, we have a liquor line and we have a clothing line and we have like Jeff's reggaeton solo album, right? Like,
it's called Kaya Tuboka.
Right. Yeah.
Bilingual.
Yeah. But those things aren't so crazy anymore. Not even the reggaeton album. Like, it's not so crazy to do because what's stopping you and why not?
Why not? I love that.
Forbes magazine deemed this guy next up after Vix Mensa and Chance the Rapper. I'm talking about none other than Chicago's own
The Boy Illinois, how are you?
I'm great, how are you?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to meet you. I mean that sincerely. Like, damn, Nate, the streets is talking.
That's good. You need to keep talking. It makes the price go up. I think putting yourself on is instilling a work regimen within yourself, like being your self-motivator. So whatever that is that you do, get yourself up in the morning, get the hustle going, that's putting yourself on.
Then I got to talk to Brianna Gatlin, CEO and founder of Swank Publishing. Now check this out. Brianna has been a music journalist for several years. She's contributed to Source Magazine, Mass Appeal Magazine, Double XL, and the Red Eye Tribune. Plus, she's worked with several artists, including Lupe Fiasco's Foundation, Raekwon from the group Wu-Tang Clan, Chrisette Michelle, Sway Calloway, New Era Cat Brand, Complex Magazine, Most Def, and the list goes on and on. So let's hear her top 3 tips for how to rock South by Southwest like a pro.
First, make sure your music is not whack. That's all I'm going to say. That's number 1. Secondly, network. Networking is one of the most important things. And then third, since we're at South by, don't bring flyers because people are going to throw them on the ground. Yeah. Bring something like a towel, promotional item, a wristband, something that is tangible where people aren't going to feel weird about keeping it. I got with me emerging artist M Double. How you doing?
I'm good.
Actually, what does it mean to put yourself on?
Put yourself on, come out here and promo and link with you and everybody else. Like, you have to do this type of work. If you don't get this type of work done, ain't nobody gonna know who you are.
There it is.
Yeah.
We're in Austin, Texas, and right now I got with me emerging artist Deuce. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? I'm good.
I'm good. I caught you off guard.
Yeah. I'm peeping the scenery, man. I'm loving it down here, man.
We're not gonna talk about it and like not be about it. So can you spit something? Can I get an exclusive Bobby Pin freestyle?
You already know.
All right, let's
Bitch,
go.
welcome to the Terror Dome, where there's 7 corpses and scattered bones, and shell casings and pools of blood from the splattered souls. I stand alone to defend myself from my avid foes, and hope my past don't catch up with me somewhere down the road. But still, I rule my empire as if I'm Black Caesar.
producer. Cheating the reaper, skipping meetings with these crib keepers. I told myself I'm about to get it off the mud. You know how niggas do it, man. I'm about to smoke the bud. We go up off the top of the dome where we down here in Austin. You thought I was written, but I'm out here nigga flossing. Still fucking getting it. Still fucking spitting it. Ripping it. Killing it. Drinks they been mixing it. That's why my words slurred a little bit. Nigga, feeling it.
Hey.
You know how niggas doing it. Hey, man, we in this bitch.
That was nice. That was nice.
Appreciate it.
Dub got bars. If you ain't here, you heard it here, all right? It's the BobbyPin.com hanging out South by Southwest 2018. Austin, Texas, baby, is lit.
Hey.